Fortune and Strife features subjects which can be uncomfortable for a general audience, such as the use of drugs and alcohol, poor treatment of people of different classes or cultures, adult situations, psychological trauma, deprivation, survival, natural disasters, and violence. Listener discretion advised. In addition, these next few episodes of the show contain cultural and historical content based upon the peoples of Asia and the Far East. We are coming at this from a place of respect and genuine interest and a love of these cultures, places, and history. We may not get it 100% right all the time, and we ask you to bear with us and give us the benefit of the doubt, and we would let us know when we get it wrong. We want to be an ally in dispelling Orientalism that has affected the Asian and Middle Eastern communities around the world. Welcome to Fortune and Strife. I am Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, and I'll be your host and narrator.
I am Chini, and I am playing Doji Gen.
I am Tyler, and I am playing Akoda Ricci.
Hi, I'm Eric Schock, and I will be guesting in as Ide Minato.
Let's play some L5R in the Burning Sands.
So let's see if I can shift this boulder.
So
knock it down.
for that,
Go ahead.
for that, the way you say it, shifting the boulder could be a water check or it could be a fire check. Either way, it's going to be labor to set the fire and stoke the fire and keep the rock saturated with water. And you're going to be doing a lot of running back and forth and this and that and everything else.
Okay. All right. Let's set everything up. See if we can lower that boulder.
Yeah. So what do you think you want to use with this? You want to use water or fire?
I will use water for this. I'm trying to move it.
And then looking at the TN descriptions, we have an extraordinary task such as felling a tree with a single axe blow. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty difficult. But I think that it's maybe even a little bit more difficult than that. And so I think we're going to go with a heroic task. So this is going to be a TN 7 normally. This is like trying to out wrestle a troll as a single person trying to science off a boulder off of a cliff. But we're going to reduce the TN by 4 because of your incredible check there. And so it comes down to a TN of 3. All right. So yeah, I'm thinking water for shift or even fire for kind of starting this whole process of burning the remnants of the shrine and the ropes and everything else like that, and trying to get expanding gas and water and steam to break through the rock.
Okay.
But it'll be water or fire labor TN3 because of the 4 bonus success. Sorry, the 8 bonus successes you got that had a -4 to the TN.
Okay. I will do it in water. I'm better at water. And
Okay.
and I'm trying to move it anyway. It makes sense. And we'll see how I do, okay?
All right. And just with water, or again avoid, or you got this TN3, do you think?
I've got 4 water and I've only got 1 void left, so
Yeah, you got 4 water, then yeah.
it's not bad. All right, let's
Yeah,
see if
I
we
mean,
can
we
make
can
it.
risk it. Yeah. Generally, I think N-1 is pretty good about hitting a TN, so yeah.
I rolled. I got a success, an exploding success with Strife, and 2 opportunities. And then I got another opportunity with Strife. So
Which kind of gave you the 50-50, but not quite enough. Yeah,
not quite
unfortunately.
enough.
Yeah, sometimes you
So
just roll all ops. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm
So let's first start with how do you want to spend your opportunities, and then we will determine success and failure, as it were. Yeah.
all right. I'd like to spend the opportunities to see if there's anything I can do to salvage this.
Yeah. Okay. Not bad.
Yeah,
Um.
see if there's any
Uh.
way that I can, did I manage to get enough done to just loosen up if it didn't already go? So I
Right. I
can.
mean, it's only a shortfall of 1. How bad could it be? So let's call that 2 opportunities.
Okay.
For you to think of a way for one single person to salvage this situation of that rock's cracking and this boulder's going.
Hmm. And then
Okay.
I'll use the other opportunity to see if there's anything else that I need to know um, in the environment that has to, can affect this. That's not directly part of this role that, you know, I should know to like, so I can figure out how many more roles I'm going to need. As I said, I've
All
only got
right.
one void
So
left.
yeah. Kind of like where that's at. Let me think about that last opportunity for a moment. Okay, here's what I got.
Mhm.
The boulder above the Hondan sanctuary is starting to crack and shift. And right now, it's not going where you're going to want it to go. You're noticing that it is coming apart and it's starting to lean heavily towards the east. And at this point, if it goes east and it starts rolling, it won't necessarily block off the mouth of the canyon. It will block off where you came up the slope and the stairs. It'll cut off far enough in that it'll probably catch all of you on the Kamaris side of the sand road,
Oh no, I
not
could have
where you
stopped
want to
that.
be.
Oh no.
Yeah, but you know that it will hit the oratory hall first, the Hayden, and that if you can somehow get it to um, stick or hit or be deflected there, you might be able to get it to go west and fall more towards the mouth, where hopefully everyone will be able to have, at least on your side, uh, maneuvered into the canyon as the plan was all along before the rock slide happens.
Okay, I don't
At
have
least
very much time.
that's your best hope. You don't have a lot of
All right.
time, and you got to
Okay.
find a way to get it to hit this hall and go west instead of east.
Okay. So, I basically I need a lever that will wedge it the other direction. Um,
A lever would be great. Yeah, you'll need some sort of good stout piece of wood, and unfortunately, you've burnt up almost all of the good pieces of wood here in the temple.
except there's a piece of wood in the temple. All right, I run down to the Hondan.
Oh, in the inside the Hondan, inside the sanctuary.
Inside the
Yes.
Hondan.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I'm going that way anyway. And I say to the desiccated corpse of the monk, I'm sorry, I really hope this quarterstaff still works, but it's all I've got. And uh I'm sorry. And I take the quarterstaff and I need to
And as
find
soon
the
as your
right
hand
place.
touches it, you have this feeling of like the blood pumping you through your heart through the ears. If you've ever had that sensation of just thump, and you are hit with a sense of otherworldliness, of almost floating for a moment, as you the monk doesn't move, but you could almost sense them looking up at you as your hands take up the staff from the reverent position that it was in, um, and it says, "You take up my burden, the last thing connecting me to this world. I go now and hope to reach the uh, nirvana, the perfect land, and follow my teacher." The little teacher whose staff this was that I have taken care of all these years.
I blood drains out of my face, but I still need to use it as a lever.
Yeah, and you go and you pull, knowing that you need this more than that, and uh, it has just kind of one last thing to say to you, that uh, beware the gods, that to take this is to um, open yourself up to their predations. Back in Rokugan, you have been a tool of the gods who have been playing a cruel game with you, your life, and your fate for far too long. You have been a game piece or currency for them to gamble over. And here, once my protection is gone and my spirit leaves Ningendo, you will also be under the predations of the Shitian Yinwang, of the Moto gods of death, for they watch this place and they hunger for the souls that the Moto have denied them since joining Shinjo's band. Careful with your life at this point, for it is now in more grave danger than ever before.
I
And
don't.
with this sense, you have both the laughing that you heard kind of earlier grows louder, almost like a teacher pleased with a student who is learning, but then also the cackling of what sounds like up to 10 hungry wild animals baying at your heels in the distance.
I would deal with that or something, but there's a boulder that's about to fall down on the caravan, and I did it, and I've got to save Sueno and Ricci somehow.
Then he would
Uh,
want you to have this. You shall walk with the little teacher's staff and guide others into a new age of man, little one. You are the new little teacher. And and whatever spirit that you thought was looking up at you from that seated position seems to be gone. The thrumming in your ears dissipates. The laughter quiets just a bit. The uh, the cackling is still there, but you're now more back in the deserted sanctuary, and you have the stick in your hands, and you have the last good timber or lumber in the shrine that you possibly could use to work as a lever for you to save your friends.
well, hopefully that didn't take any time, because she's freaking out.
Yeah, yeah, no, you look and you listen and you could hear the stone popping and still cracking in
Okay.
the background, but it hasn't gone yet.
All right. Well, maybe it was my imagination. I don't know, but in any event, I need to find the right place. So I go outside to the Hansen and I need to find a good place where I can set this lever to push against the stone as it's starting to roll and steer it in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a saying, uh, you know, with the right lever in the right place, a man can move the world. Well, at least I need to move this large boulder. Uh,
So
and
there's a couple places that you might be able to do that. If you think that it'll kind of hold for a moment at the oratory hall at the Hayden, you could try to set up there and push it in the new direction. You can try to go back behind where the fire is at and maybe get it as it breaks and try to give it a mighty push there and try to get it back on course from the start. Um, you might even be able to set something up so that when it crashes through the sanctuary, you might be able to maneuver it against some of the steps or the slope there. Where might you want to set up to push?
I want to try and set up to push as close as I can get to where the fires were, and I was starting it. So at the base of the rock, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
as I can reach, as long as I can reach it in time before
Mm-hmm.
it's cracks. Because if it starts moving, I'm not very big and not very strong. I don't know if I'll be able to move it if it's
All
actually
right.
got any momentum.
Then let's go ahead and get you to scramble back up to the top of the boulder, kind of to where you were earlier when you were taking your lookout position.
Mhm.
That was, I believe, a TN2 fitness test. And rushing, I think, would either be water or fire.
Yep. Okay. On TN2 fitness check, I managed to succeed in getting into place with 2 successes, 2 strife, and an opportunity. Use the opportunity to negate the 2 strife, please.
There you go. All right. Or at least lower 2 strife, gain 2
Lower
strife
2
kind
strife.
of thing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. You're not negating it off the check. All right. So you get yourself in the position, huffing and puffing, but you've been exerting yourself, and it's you're if you were gonna be hurting again by the weak constitution, guess what? You probably would have collapsed during that massive run for resources earlier. So once you kind of, I think, maybe cleared out your chest earlier, you're able to make it up. Nothing holding you back at this point. All right, so uh, you start to see that this time, even getting up there with even your small weight and small stature on top of the rock, that you could feel the boulder kind of flex and move underneath you. That little protuberance that connected the boulder to the rock face is going to give just about any moment now. So, to leverage this to get it back the way you wanted it to, I am thinking that we will do this with a. What do we think? Is this something that is theoretical, that you're theorizing, you're guessing or making up, as it were, with fire, or is it more observational with water, or more based in science and study, and you're using earth? What do you think?
Well, in this case, I think all I have is I don't have a long time to set up a theory or anything like that. It's just going to be all my strength versus trying to get this boulder to move away from them. So,
There you go. Okay, so water.
I think that's Earth.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
it could
just
be earth as
strength.
well. Yeah. All right. Like you said, you don't have a lot of time to figure this out. So let us go with earth labor for just putting your whole body into this thing. And I will give you a void point to do it blind unless you'd rather have the TN.
I will do it blind because I need to spend my void point, spend a void, and
To try
spend a
and
void
succeed
to
here.
try and
Sure.
succeed here. So, and even if I know it's not going to get me rolling any better, so I'm giving it all I've got to try and move this boulder.
All right.
Um, well, I did my best on the roll, and I got 2 successes, a strife, and an opportunity. So I didn't make it.
Yeah, sometimes they don't come up the way you want to, even with the void and everything else. So yes, you have a shortfall of 1.
Mhm.
How do you want to spend your opportunity though?
I'd like to spend my opportunity to find out what the best way is to stop this boulder and have it going in the direction. So what's the best approach for me to be using? What should I be rolling uh,
Sure.
for uh, for skill and ring because this wasn't working.
Yeah, let me go ahead and wrap that all up into kind of one description here. So with a shortfall of 1, you are giving everything you have, your whole body and every force you have, even leveraging and using as much knowledge as that you have in this case to make the most out of what you have. But you're just one person, and at that, you're a bit of a small person. You're just you don't have the mass and the height and the strength to necessarily just manhandle this boulder the way that you need to at this moment. At least not the way that you've been trying. And you can see and hear that this boulder is about to go. I mean, it's cracking, it's popping, hissing. The steam is expanding within the cracks of this water, from the water that it had just soaked up, and then the fire just expands everything, and the heat and the smoke is getting to you. And at this point, you have to just go into the sacrifice approach and go into void and just give yourself over completely to the situation, act completely on instinct,
and almost hope that fate and the heavens are on your side, and just give over to it. You need to stop thinking and just do. And so, yes, the best approach would be to come up here and give it void fitness.
Void fitness, sacrifice approach. That means basically, and just to confirm, if I die here, according to all the things I've been said, the lords of death are out to get me for the afterlife, right?
You'll go out if you die in this situation, because again, you're on top of it and you have to just give in to everything. I mean, it's, you might fall into the fire, you might roll down with the rock the whole way, the rock might just crush your leg or something and no one will find you. There's a whole bunch of different ways that might go down with this sacrifice. You might roll with it the whole way down the cliff. You will go out as in samurai hero tradition and fashion, but you have been warned by that monk that the protection that they were exerting over this shrine means that the gods of death might come and take your soul. In fact, the way that you've been hearing the cackling and the descending kind of darkness, you can almost feel their deathly claws kind of grabbing at your ankles right now as you think about it.
But down there is Ricci and Sueno and Hayate and the whole unicorn caravan, and Rokugan, who has to warn that this army is coming.
Yeah.
Well, who needs an afterlife anyway, right? I don't
I mean,
believe
that's for
it.
people that believe in those things. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. I'm doing it. Let's go for it. Void fitness. We're just gonna put my feet up against the cliff, the boulder, and my back against the cliff, and lever this and put this quarter staff down in the crack there with the smoke coming up around me, and just throwing everything I have into this. We will see how it goes.
All right. I did not give you a TN before the roll, and so by the game's adjudication, you may have a void point if you'd like.
All right. Well, I'll take it. In some ways, I didn't want to know because we'll see how it goes.
Gotta go
All
in
right.
with faith. Yeah.
Gotta go with faith. All right. I have gotten 5 successes, 1 opportunity, 6 strife. All right. I am terrified. I think I have many reasons to be utterly terrified. But I'm doing this anyway. That takes me to fully compromised, but I am here and throwing all of it. So hopefully 5 successes was enough.
So this was the easier approach. So with 5 successes, you have 3 bonus successes. And so you are able to reorient the direction of fall of the boulder. And it is no longer going to be traveling east, but west, where you wanted it to go beforehand, and where it will hopefully cause a landslide at the mouth of the rock face and the canyon out where your friends are hopefully making their way at just this very moment.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you are in free fall at the moment. You are kind of smacking against the rolling boulder as it goes kind of free, and you're pretty sure that as you were pushing and moving things, that the staff you had used actually pushed and exerted more force than yourself. It's actually kind of why you feel yourself kind of floating and so surprised at the moment, is that it almost feels like it wedged itself between the rock and the wall and expanded and pushed itself, and that it's now taller than you are as it pushes back and begins to fall away from the rock face, leaving you staring up into the color changing evening sky. And yeah, at this point, you are, well, falling to your presumed death. You are falling from a range of, because of how high up you were and how far you're going to be falling with this rock and the landslide going down, we're going to call that range 5. And that's going to require you to make a TN3 fitness test to resist the fall, or at least lower it enough that you won't take as bad a fall. Because at range 5, it is a severity 16 crit with prone and unconscious. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of a thing here in just a moment.
All right. Um,
And the real downside being that you are compromised.
mm-hmm. Can I unmask again? What does that mean?
It's once per scene, I believe, and the last time that you unmasked was at the end of the last scene that you were in. You did it
All right.
as you rode off and lost contact with the otaku, and that's why your unmasking did that. It was a fearful retreat. How do you want to manifest um, your outburst this time?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Well,
So,
no, that's quite all right. There's a couple of things here. So things that don't make a lot of sense. Exposing an opening. There's no one here for you to see you do that. There's no one to challenge to an honor duel. I mean, maybe besides the gods. Um, Inappropriate outburst. Again, blasphemy might be a thing here. Panicked retreat. Again, I don't think that will work here in this situation as it did last time. Um, there's rage where you go and you lash out against people and objects around you. I mean, perhaps you kind of lost your shit just before the boulder gave way. So there's
no,
rage.
I think I know what
Or
it
there's
is.
been principles, which is for you to maybe change your bend your skepticism a little bit with everything that you've seen and heard today.
Well, I could. Is that a principle?
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
a principle of you would be your skepticism and your anger at the gods would be a principle that you hold. Yeah,
All right. I will.
because it says the character does something that conflicts with their values, oaths, or views of right and wrong to bring about the results they desire. So if you were to
Okay.
pray all of a sudden out of nowhere, I think that would be bending Gen's principles.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, suddenly, in this moment, she's feeling this flood of relief that the boulder is going where it's supposed to go, and that hopefully this means that Ricci and Sueno and Hayate and the caravan will be saved. She's in despair, feeling the claws of the Lords of Death like waiting out there to snag her soul if she should die, and she's obviously imminently about to die. And she is just um incredibly overwhelmed by all of it, and in the end she just starts laughing herself because it's like her emotions are just like there's too much here, and in her laughter she prays to Fukurokujin and Inari both, because they both have had their uh, influence on her in the past. Inari much more recently, saying, "If this is where I was supposed to end up, good one. But you know, please help me. Please look after me if you can." I have no place else to go except, forever not here. Forever in the clutches of the lords of death.
There you go.
So,
All right.
but all done
So
with
yeah,
laughter and tears streaming down her face at the same time because it's too insane.
with that, you outburst, and for giving up your honor rank and honor, which is I believe, are you at are you in honor rank 8 or 7?
Another one. I'm at 7.
All right, so then you will lose 7 honor for that.
Okay.
And that would be, I believe, considered part of. Well, what do you think? Bending principles while doing this. I think this is this righteousness or this courage. Let's just call it righteousness for this, or yeah, we'll call it righteousness for this one. So yeah, go ahead and lose 7 honor, which thankfully at 77 does not have you lose an honor rank, as it were. You're still at 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and yeah, you're in free fall. You need to make a excuse me. Oh, that's right. A TN3 fitness test. But what? I'm trying to think of here. How might you go about trying to resist this, as it were?
I think that this has to go in the void approach, which I fell in.
Okay, yeah, that works. So in that case, it is a TN3 fitness test.
Okay.
If you succeed, you will reduce the range band that you fell by 1 plus their bonus successes. So you're falling 5. So for succeeding, and then for every success after that, you will reduce it by 1.
I succeed in the roll. I can keep the dice with strife because I just outburst. Again, I'm unmasked. I succeed with 2 opportunities. I do not get any bonus successes, unfortunately.
Okay.
And what I'd like to do with my opportunities, if I can, is
Mhm.
let Sueno know through our bond that I'm alive
Oh,
and
okay.
what
Mhm.
happened, if that's all right. And that I'm here, that I'm didn't abandon her, that I did this for her. I'm not necessarily at this point expecting that I'd make it.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Absolutely. I think that's a terrific way to use a void opportunity or opportunities. Yeah, well, let's count it for both. It is kind of a supernatural thing, but you're connecting with a bond. So I think that works for a 2 for instead of a 1 off.
Mhm.
All right. And you do get 3 successes. So you do succeed. So you're no longer falling from a range of 5, but a range of 4, which is instead of taking a 16 strength critical hit, which would be instant death, you are now taking a severity 10.
Okay.
Yeah, which then needs to be resisted again by another void test here.
All right. Fitness.
You are also going to be prone and unconscious. As
All right. Well, I've if they pick me up off the desert sands, they pick me up. All right, there we go. Let me do my void fitness check. Okay, I got 3 successes on my fitness check for the severity
on your
10
resist check here.
on my resist.
Got it. So that drops it from severity 10 to severity 7. So you do suffer a permanent injury.
Okay.
The character suffers the bleeding condition, and then they choose one of the following disadvantages for the ring that they used. So probably lost memories or some sort of other head trauma. And we could discuss this later on.
All right. Well, we'll deal with that.
So you are prone, unconscious, and bleeding, and have suffered a permanent injury.
But still alive for the next 30 seconds.
Still alive, but still living for the moment. Yeah. Now
Right.
then, okay, so yeah, you're only bleeding after that check, so you weren't bleeding beforehand, so you're fine there. Okay. But you're unconscious, so the only other checks you can make will be resistance checks in the future in case something bad was to happen to you, in addition to stuff that's already happened.
Splatting on the ground.
So yeah, so you're finding yourself in free fall over the boulder, and you pray to Fukuroka-jin, and you kind of also let out a bit of a kind of sardonic, sarcastic, but also ironic laugh as you fall and pray, and the boulder gives way and it goes where you want. And you have an image of the monk, but it's moving from his desiccated corporeal body back into an animated form of him, and he looks ancient, dressed in outdated, although not that monks have all that fashionable of outfits, but it's reminding you of paintings and tapestries from the very dawn of the empire, and of him walking out west, away from you. And then you have an image of a little man with a long beard nodding in approval and with a bit of laughter and a wink towards you, satisfied with your work, as the teacher watches over their student. And then an odd thing. You see Inari, and you've spent time with Inari, but also now that you kind of see them, their face, it fluctuates between their own, but also it looks like your friend Kaguya's. It's so bizarre. You're not sure what to make of it, but this kind of amalgam of them offers you their left hand and their right hand and tries to reach out towards you, and you're not sure if it's what helps soften the blow as you fall, though not that much is all that softened, because you hit the side of the canyon, you hit the boulder, you hit the side again, and things feel like they might be breaking or giving. You smack your head, blood gushes out, and you kind of lose all focus. And the last thing that you see descending over you as your body just gives out completely and your mind fades, is 10 ghastly forms coming to take you away, claiming in a speech that you have never heard that you are theirs.
I'm Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, your host and narrator, thanking you once again for listening. Remember to catch new episodes every Monday. If you want to catch them early or are looking for more bonus content, please consider becoming a supporting member of the Patreon at patreon.com/courtgames.
I am Tyler, and I've been playing Akoto Riichi. You can find me on my personal accounts on Twitter at Churcher Games or on Twitch, also as Churcher Games. You can find the show on the web at courtgamespod.com, on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram under Fortune and Strife, and on Twitter at L5RFNS. If you would like to contact us, you can email the show at fortuneandstrife@gmail.com.
This is Jeannie, aka Kikita Kaori, and also known as, at least today, Doji Gen. You can find me at my blog at the Winter Garden of the Kikita website, along with helpful materials for the RPG, and also on Twitter at White Veils or on Facebook. If you like, I am also found on the Court Games RPG podcast as a writer for Emerald Legacy, or check out The Table Is Yours for fiction readings of the FFG stories.
Hi there, I'm Eric Schock, and I will be guesting as Ide Minato.
This has been Fortune and Strife, a Court Games production in association with D20 Radio Network and the Rokugani Historical Society.
Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.